If you can't make it right, make it shiny. Welcome back to Centerline Designs, everyone. My name's Cole, and we're gonna finish up the maintenance on our Swinger 3000 wheel loader today. In the last video, my son was helping me out, and we had a leaking axle seal. So we got the tire and the hub off, I got the numbers off it, and I purchased a new replacement for that. We also made some shimming washers for that top pivot on the loader boom because it had too much side-to-side play, and that was causing the grease to get worked out faster than it should. So we got washers made up there and put them in. And then I was also took the front quick attach plate off because we needed to get the ID and OD measurements on 4 bushings up front that are paper thin and completely worn out. So today's video should be getting this seal replaced. That shouldn't be too difficult. We'll give the bearings a little clean, re-lube them, put the hub on, the tire back on. And then we're gonna start gouging out those bushings and try and get the new ones in place, which will really tighten up that front end of the machine and hopefully keep it a little more reliable for this summer for all of the work we have to do with our house lift. And lastly, I got the fuel filter, the oil filter, so we're gonna do a bit of a service on the machine and change the coolant as well because it didn't look all too great. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get over to that axle seal. Okay, so this bearing, the inner bearing, is gonna have to come out and get cleaned anyways. I'm not too worried about getting it dirty. I think this will get the seal out. Oh yeah. Oh, that was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I'll get that bearing cleaned up. Get the whole housing cleaned up too. I already re-oiled this bearing. Despite what I said in an earlier video, I'm not actually going to go ahead and change all the fluid in these diffs. It looks pretty nice and clean, because really these don't see the kind of miles that a highway vehicle sees. But I am going to head and top it off, and I might need even more than I have. I forgot to buy it when I bought all the oil and coolant and everything, but oh well. A little more gear oil is better than not enough. I'll pick some up next time I go into town. It's really not that low. It's about right there. Sorry if that heater is a little loud. I forgot to leave it on. I accidentally turned it off last time I was in the shop, and it was only 5 degrees Celsius in here this morning, so it's probably not going to shut off for a while. Oh, we got the wheel on! Yes! One thing off the checklist. I want to tackle these front bushings now. Let's go take a look. So as you can see here, the top side, top left, is very, very worn out. There's a little bit better look. There's even a chunk missing. And you can see it's paper thin here and probably a little under normal bushing thickness on this side. So we need to try and get these out, and I think I have an idea. Let's see how it goes. So there's a few different ways of removing these bushings. I've heard of people laying a weld bead down inside there. This is a type of bronze bushing. It doesn't mean it wouldn't work, but the idea is the weld lays in, and then when it cools and shrinks, it actually reduces the outside diameter of the bushing and kind of frees it up from the bore it's in. Never tried that, and it's not going to be my go-to here. These are so thin through the backside, I think I can just get in there with a die grinder very gently and remove the bronze bushing section, and then we should be able to take a cold chisel and a punch and just knock these right out of there. I'm pretty sure this will work just fine. I got a carbide burr and a air die grinder. If that doesn't work, I also thought about maybe a Sawzall with a metal blade in there, and that can remove just a small kerf of material, which then with some cold chisels and punches, you just knock this out. There's hoping anyways, right? Okay, let's get in there. I'm gonna try and dig out what I can, and let's see how the first one goes. Even if I nick the bore a little bit in a couple areas, it's not really that big a deal. The new bushings should have a little bit of a press fit on them. We can also throw them in the freezer to shrink them down just that little bit. Okay, let's get into it. Well, I am pleasantly surprised with how easy those bushings came out, so that's exciting. There's a little bit of a rolled edge on this side, so we'll need to chamfer that bore just a little bit. and then I need to clean it out with some emery or Scotch Brite. Ideally, I'd have like a flat, rotating flat disc thingy there and clean her out with the drill, but I don't have one, so let's do it by hand. So these bushings I bought for this are not like a direct replacement from the manufacturer. The company that makes this does not make these tractors anymore, and you'll never get bushings from them. I measured them in the last video, and then I just found ones online that I believe will do the job. These ones are actually a little too long, so we'll have to chuck them up in the lathe and part them down to the proper length. But I really do want to just verify the ID of the bore and the OD of the bushing here, and make sure that a little press fit will be okay. Let's see. So 1.996, let's check the bushings. And the bushings, 1.998. So that's maybe 2 thou if my measuring was accurate. So these are gonna go in no problem. Should just be an ever so slight little press on them, and I have a bearing installation tool that I have wanted to try for quite a while and never gotten to use. So let's get the overall length measurement, trim them up on the lathe, and get them installed. Ooh. Oh, this is bent. This, I don't know, maybe it's my eyes, but this whole housing that held the bushing looks to be cocked, or it's because it's worn a bit on this face or something. I don't know. It's probably never going to show up on camera, but this, it doesn't look lined up to me. I'm not fixing this right now. We're just doing some bushings. Okay, let's get an approximate distance. 2.45 inches. And 2.45 inches. So this is where having a DRO is going to come in really handy, because I'm just going to get an overall length. So these are 2.997. We need to take them down to 2.45. And by doing that, we just know how much to subtract. We'll touch off on the one end. We'll move in the amount we need to subtract, and then we'll part off the extra. I don't even have to mark it. Okay, We're gonna turn this on, touch off, enter our subtraction amount, and then go to 0. Old bushings. New bushings. Okay, let's get that kit out and press these into place. I'm gonna throw them outside in the snow just to help them shrink down just a little bit. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't. Here is this kit. Bought this quite a while ago, and it comes with a variety of different sleeves, and then there's some backing plates because these go onto the sleeves, and then there's drawbars, and they're a big Acme thread with thrust bearings at the end, so these can actually take a really good amount of torque and not screw the threads up. They're meant to get some force put on them to press those bushings in or press bushings out. I just need to determine what set of spacers we need to get these bushings pressed in, and then let's go and try and force them into place. I kind of think one of the things throwing me off a little bit is that the main boom arm has a taper to it, in which case these bushings aren't going to be put in perpendicular because then they'd be on a taper. So they're put in on a bit of an angle, and this face also has wear, which could skew it as well. I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing here in person, but I don't know. It's just a little deceiving to the eye. Let's just get this stuff assembled. Bushing was outside for a little bit. I don't know if it's gonna matter though. Let's get it on. There. Don't look, Devin. I don't have my big wrenches here right now. I have the socket set, but we're gonna use 2 adjustables. I think that went really well. Perfect. Hey, we did it! Those look really good. Oh yeah. If you can't make it right, make it shiny. The only other two bushings I had on my radar to replace are the ones in this H-link. And just kind of judging by how easy it was, I'm really not too worried. I'm gonna go ahead, we'll get this supported a little bit, and we'll do the same process. Die grind them out, cold chisel, and then press them in. This one is already starting to work its way out. Well, I really don't mind this job, mainly because it's working. This one has seen some grease, which is kind of nice. So the bushings in the H-link are basically the same material. However, this link's a little different because the grease goes into a void. The bushings are only about 1.5 inches long. So then there's a void between bushings, and that fills up with grease and then forces its way out through the pins and the zerk fittings right here. Whereas on these lower bushings over here and here, the pins have a cross-drilled hole, and then you put the grease fitting into the pin and then it comes out into the bore. It's really whether you grease the bore or grease the pin. One of the last things to do with these pins is get these grease zerks out of here, and then we can make sure all the grease ports are clear, because taking this apart didn't look like it had any grease. There's the cross hole right there. And then we're gonna install new grease zerks. All right, give you a little demonstration. There you go, 2 pins, ready to go. once we move this quick attach plate around a little bit with the bucket, do just a little bit of work with it, I'll come and give these another grease because it's going to take a little time to completely fill all those voids again. Well, I can safely say that there's almost no play in that now, so that is awesome. There was so much play if you've seen the previous video, like over 1/4 of an inch of slop in that. So those bushings are done. That is exciting. We got lots of work to do with those. We're gonna take this thing off jack stands and let's drain some oil. Gotta give some credit to these heavy equipment channels because videoing under a piece of equipment is not that easy. But we got our oil pan drain plug right there. It's not really hot, but I did run it a little bit. And then the oil filter's right there. So we're gonna work on getting this drain down, and obviously the oil is gonna hit right there and probably splash and make a big mess. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Woohoo! From what I understand, this engine holds 12 or 13 liters. It seemed that there's different models of this engine and they're all kind of different, but I think I got 12. This oil filter is not easy to get at. Oh, there, just broke the oil filter loose. So I'm just not one to fill an oil filter. Some people do, but honestly, in the 2 seconds it takes for that oil filter to actually fill, it's not doing any damage. Okay, that's 10 liters of oil in there. I'm gonna start this up, just give it a few seconds, and then we'll check the oil. It probably needs at least a couple of more liters. These were 5-liter jugs, so I actually got 15 liters of oil. So should be more than enough for this engine. Actually, it's over full. Okay, well, I did take a liter of oil out, and it's pretty good now. I don't think we need to call that a mistake. I was just flushing the engine out. So this is a 4.5 liter John Deere PowerTech, 1998 is the machine. And I guess that'd be about 9 liters of oil. I'll probably go ahead and write that on the valve cover. Some of the stuff online I seen said maybe 12 liters. Now this is a non-turbo model, so I could assume that that just consumes a little less oil. I don't think this engine needs to be checked when running at all, unless I'm wrong on that. If someone knows better, let me know. But anyways, 9 liters of oil. Alrighty, we're getting things checked off that list one thing at a time. All right, oil is now topped off. I have to wait on the fuel filter. I need a strap wrench for it that I just don't have. So, you can't even see where that filter is. It's so hard to change anyway. So it's not gonna make for very good videoing. But yeah, I'm really happy. I was crawling underneath the machine. I did find a hydraulic filter cartridge. Finally, I didn't know where it was on this machine. So I'm gonna have to take a picture of that and then also order it because nothing is in stock where I live. In the future, I do want to address the parking brake on this machine. It does want to creep, but I just rolled underneath the machine and it needs a really good degreasing and pressure washing before I start digging into anything. So I'm gonna have to wait on that, but not a big deal. It's really hard to video under there. For all the guys doing heavy equipment channels, that is impressive because to try and fit a camera and a tripod into some of those areas you can barely fit yourself, that's not an easy thing to do. I am so happy with what we got done today, getting the wheel back on, the tractor now moves, those bushings are replaced, and we took a ton of play out of the front end of this machine. So it should be quite reliable for this summer when all the dirt work we got to do. I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.